Hello, guys. Today, I think it's time for us to start talking about some elements. Which, by the way, one more element which is extremely important for everything we do in MidJourney, everything we are creating as AI artists, and it is so important that, by the way, MidJourney helps us a lot on this. It's called lighting and the lights that we have in a picture. Of course, everything you do in MidJourney, whatever if you put any command for specific instruction for lights, it will add light because otherwise it would be everything black or it would be everything very dark. So lights is an element besides pictures or ideas that are in the open, even in the open, it has to add some type of light. So it's something that you can even ignore sometimes on your instruction, because if you just give a good instruction that give a idea of environment for the MidJourney will do this job for you to select a light for you, and you can use that. But most of the time, some cases, especially if you're using Starlight Zero or something like that, you will need to decide about light. So what I'm gonna do in this video, I'm gonna be showing different ways to control the light position. Some types of lights in the open, lights in dark places, lights that what we can do with light. Maybe I suggest that during this video you take notes or of some names of those lights. By the way, but as I always say, I'm putting this is the spreadsheet that I create with everything I'm telling here. At I link at the Discord channel. There's a area there with resource. You can see the document there. But let's go. Let's start talking here about light. So I'm here already in the light study room that I did here at my personal Discord, and to do this exercise, to do this idea, I show the different type of lights. I created. I already created. A very simple prompt that will give us some very good ideas. I create a prompt to call uh, woman wearing a brown jacket facing the camera. So I'm just putting a woman because it has more hair, has more elements. Sometimes they have more makeups, things like this, and I'm putting them wearing a brown jacket to have some textures, have some things for us to see how the light reflects and things like this. So I decided to put in a brown jacket, and I add instruction facing the camera as position, as poses. And by the way, poses, there's a lot of types of poses. One day we can make a video about it. But I put facing the camera just for have them looking so we can see, because if I don't put facing the camera, probably change the lights, they will change the position of the model, and I didn't want it. So that's a very basic instruction. Women wearing a brown jacket facing the camera. As I said, of course, even not giving any instruction for MidJourney about light, MidJourney is putting light. Another important point is this: for this exercise today, I'm not put stylized zero, because I do want the already the original light that comes, and I will manipulate that light that come without the without put stylized zero. So this is the basic one that we're gonna be working on. And by the way, let me open the browser here. Maybe I'll put the browser a little bit more here in the window for you guys to see. We're probably gonna be using today. Oops, that was the score. I'm sorry. And this will be important for us to have a not the assist. I would not say the assistant, but I would say to have the Midjourney participating with us, because I don't think it makes much sense as well when you are doing a final composition work without the stylized zero. I put stylized zero most of when we are speaking about technical terms that we just need to see the impact of it. So here we have those are the ladies who are gonna be playing with the lights today. So first thing that I'm gonna do here, it will be a prompt, some commands that we control where is the light's position. As you see here, as in basic, most of the light that we have here are in the top on their forehead, or one here in the side light, and we will speak a little bit about those. So let's create here the three prompts. The first prompt that I'm gonna create here, I will put the command called front light, everything together, front light. I will do another one. Oops, I didn't do the command. I pasted. Hold on. Imagine. Let's do here front light, right? Everything. Hold on. I speak too much here. Front light. I will do the backlight, backlight, perfect. And let's do here side light. So right now I am just telling the just telling to Midjourney that I want to select where the light is will be mostly coming from. Of course, that Midjourney, that's why I'm not using Style Zero, will not cancel all the light that exists. We just put one light. You're gonna see that, but you're gonna be able to see there's an accentuation. There's more light now happening on those areas that I'm specifying here. Um, and for me this is already a big impact. By the way, in the end here we're going to be using different lights. Of course, light is an element that you don't need to have just one in the picture. Even if you see sometimes when you see compositions of people posing or creating, they put different pictures, but they put one light in the top, one light here and there. We're going to be talking about all those type of lights today here. So here we go. We have here the first results. And first we have here's the front light. And also one thing that is important for us today is will be that notice the nuances of pictures will be very big. So let me do this. Let me open the basic one first here. Okay. Let me open now the first result we had here, which is uh, the front light. Okay. To compare here. So here we have the one where we didn't set anything, was just Midjourney doing the light. And now if you see here the front light, you see that the light that is happening in here now are all of them like a light position the front of the model. So you see the foreheads are pretty much reflecting. So if you see here, especially if you see here, oh, not sure if you guys can see, hold on. Let me let me just put a little bit here. Yes. You can see here, this, especially this model here, see that the light is pretty much very bright on their forehead. We do have the light in front of them. So that's the command front light. So besides the some light that exists in the picture, we now have also a light in the front of the models. And that's why, for example, this one here, if you see that, it seems that has more light, right, around them. There's one little bit in the side here, but now we have specific light coming from the front of the models. So then the other one we got here, that the command that I did here was the backlight. Let's open here so you see what's happening. So the backlight now, besides the light that can happen in the front or in the side that Midjourney is doing with us, we also have now a light that is happening in the back of the model. This one here is very clear. There's a light that is happening in the back of the model. That's the backlight. So we have an effect of the light. So it will draw a ring in the models. So because now we are putting an effect of another light which is in the back of the model. So of course that if I only that backlight that Midjourney would do for us, he would destroy everything. It would be just silhouette, or we would not be able to see anything in the picture. So that's interesting. But now I have another light which I'm saying that it's in the back of the model. So that's the backlight. And then so that's the this command, front light, backlight. And now the next one that we did here is the side light. Let's check here the side light now. And then we have the side light, backlight, I'm sorry. Now we have here the side light. So as you can see here in the side light, especially in those two models here, is very clear. So now they have a light where it's pretty much illuminating one side of the face and leaving the other side of the face darker. So now we have the side light and all of them. So I would say that even though I'm not specified yet about shadows here or working shadow, using text about shadows is very specific. So we have here now a way of having a light on one side and a big shadow of other side of the face. So that's the side light. So I would say that about light, those are the three initial ways of manipulating controlling light. So front light, back light, and side light. And I didn't have any success trying to say to Midjourney exactly which side I want the light. I try right side light or left side light, left light, right light. Normally he doesn't deal with that much. He doesn't understand what I want. He changed other elements of the picture, but I know side light works, and side light's the one that I'm showing here. Okay, but now I would say that you can use some of those together. You can put a backlight and a side light in the model. You can do all those kind of things. You already learned what is the effect of each light makes. So I can put a front light and a side light. You can combine that. You can put three of them. You can see the result that it's given. Normally more than three elements for the same thing is not good for Midjourney, but those are the three directions of light that we're gonna be with. Not types of light yet. There's a very basic light. And by the way, Midjourney tend to do yellows and white lights very randomically. Besides some of the, we are very specific that we're going to be talking about. But if you don't specify just the front light, back light, side light, it's pretty random the color of the all those lights as well. But at least we can control a little bit some accentuation on one side of the model or that side of the model or the picture or the scene that we are working on. Okay. Um, let's move it on now about lights, and let's talk now about open area. And I think this is one. This is a very interesting one. So um, when you put any kind of open field picture, any picture, any open field illustration you want to do, we normally don't specify light, and I think it's very good to specify light. So I will talk here about five main lights effects and lights that we can use on the open field, which is very good. We can use any time, by the way, but it's very interesting. So let's get here the, the same seed again. Let's put here imagine. And the first one I'm gonna put is it seems is the most basic. Sometimes, most of the time when you specify on your prompt that you are doing something like in the outside. So for example, say a model in the harbor in the morning. Normally the MidJourney will put this light for you, one of those lights for you. So, but I wanted to have control of that. So the first one we're gonna put here is called natural lighting. Natural lighting, lighting. I'm sorry, natural lighting, natural lighting. I would say. I would put that under natural lighting. I will put here about natural light. We have different moments of. I will put here sunlight. You're gonna see there's another one another one that we can use sunlight. Okay, we're gonna use golden hour light, which is the light in the very used for photography. Golden hour light, the one that is yellowish in the end of the day. Sunlight, golden hour light, uh, and I will put two special ones here related with the sun, which people don't use, but they are very nice. One is the sunbeam, sunbeam. Oops, sunbeam. The other one that we're going to be using here is the sunshine ray. Sunshine ray. Oh, that's a good point to explain as well now. Some lights, most of the time, many types of light, they will add a new element to the picture. I can give a good example. I'll give some example at the end. For example, candle light, torch light, lantern light. If you put those names, they will put a candle in the picture. Sometimes they put a candle. Most of the time, they put a candle, for example. It is valid. It is make part of it. You can make part of your scene, part of what you're doing. But be aware of that. Sometimes of lights they will add some elements to the picture to make the light happen. By the way, sometimes you add an element to the picture that have light, so this light will be participating in the picture as well. Of course, you put like a model in the front of a car, you're gonna have the lights of the car participating in this picture. So let's see here what we have. So the first one we put here is the natural light. As you see here with the natural light, let's close here the ones we already analyzed to keep so we have the initial one and we have now the natural light. So with the natural light we pretty much see that it's like the model, it is somewhere where it is getting some natural light on her. um, and you can see that the light is very dominant in the whole side of the model, in the whole environment. So this one here is pretty much very present. So, and the light is very natural. It's one of the lights of the day. So natural light is something that will illuminate the model. Normally is one side, not in the totality. Normally is one side or one direction, but you know where the natural light is coming. And normally they are natural. Normally they tend to be, although this one here is a little yellowish, they normally are very white. They normally are white light, or maybe not even white light. They are natural colors. So that's the natural light. The second one that we have here now is to analyze is the sunlight. I like the sunlight a lot. many people don't use, but sunlight now we have the sun hitting directly the model. So that's very interesting. So we have here the sunlight hitting directly the hair. We have here the sunlight hitting directly the I would say here a little bit from the top. Now from the top, oops, from the top here. So now we have sunlight happening in the back. You see that she is in a place with sunlight. So the sunlight is participating on the environment. Same thing here. So we have here big sunlight hitting the room from a window, from something. This is very clear sunlight effect. So this is a pretty much effect that will put sunlight in the model. Although the model have a front light here participating, we have the sunlight coming. So sunlight can give a lot of style for a picture, especially if you are using something that you want to signify that that's the day. So sunlight always will be interesting to test on your composition, and it's a very good light to have it if you have something during the day. So after sunlight, the other one that it's very interesting as well, it's more common. I see more people using this one is the golden hour light. This is now we are talking about end of the day. It's already is a very soft sunlight. I would say it's a very soft sunlight. It's not aggressive as the sunlight we have, and the golden hour light tends to be more volumetric. We're going to be speaking about the volumetric light in the end, but it tends to be more volumetric because it shows more volume of the picture, and it gives a very yellowish effect. If you see here, especially if you see here on this one here, you see that that's almost orange effect because it's really the golden hour, right? Is the golden light, very famous for pictures in the Instagrams of live and things like that. So we have here the golden hour light is a very good tag to use as well. It's a very interesting one as well, golden hour light. And to conclude, lights that we have outside, lights we have in the day. The other one that I separate here is the sunbeam. Sunbeam is no, we have more than one. So sunbeam, it's similar to the sunlight, but here I'm being very specific that I really want to see some beams of light happening here. This you can see here. See, you can see a very strong beams of light happening in the model. We can use that together with other pictures. But here now the sunlight's not just happening as a whole. It's really happy. It's really hitting our model on all of them, and this is the beam of light from the sun. It's another element to use for illuminate your picture. Normally we illuminate a lot where the sun beam's hitting, so it's giving almost like a blinding effect on one of the areas. It's a very strong, very strong. I would say it is a strong is a strong way of using the sunlight, the sunbeam. And speaking about the ray, the last one we have about the sun that I like to use as well sometimes because it also gives another effect is the sunshine ray, which is similar to the sunbeam, but it's a little softer, but it gives a lot of light sometimes around. It's more, maybe it's a little more angelical, and some pictures that you use a little more distant, not so close as this, give some very nice effects. Is the sunshine ray. So it's like I would say it's like a sunbeam together with the golden hour a little bit. So it's the sunshine ray. It's in the morning, so if you want to do a picture that you want to say it's in the morning, probably is something that you're going to be trying to use because that's the another very interesting one that I use. This, by the way, I'm using sunshine ray. I'm talking about the sunshine ray here. The sunset ray is very similar to the golden hour. Golden hour is much more interesting. That's what I didn't put here, but it's also possible to do the sunset ray. So now we have here the sunshine ray, which is on. So this we cover pretty much all the lights that we can do outside in the day. So I would say it's a natural lighting, which is just a natural thing coming. Just recapping, the golden hour light, which that light which is very golden, very volumetric, many people use. Sunlight, the sun is hitting the room, hitting around the model, or the subject. Sunbeam, the beams as really hitting on me, and the sunshine rays of sunshine is happening around you. So those are the lights that I suggest, and it's cool to use for something today. Let's move on now. Speaking about lights, and now let's go back to inside again, and let's go back to studio to work most of the time when we want to do something in a closed environment. And this is pretty much going to speak about three lights here. We're going to speak about the studio lighting, the cinematic light, and the Decathlon light. So let's create those three tags here. Let's close those tags from the sunshine, from the sunshine ray here. Uh, this one here. Okay, we can close as well. Close as well. Let's keep with the initial models that we have here. Let's go now here and let's create three new prompts here. We use the same scene. Let's do here. Imagine. Now I'm gonna do here. This is one of the most common that I see people using. Studio Lighting. Studio. By the way, lighting or light, you can use both. They are very similar results. I just use Studio Lighting here, but I could use Studio Light. Studio Lighting is contextual, so that the AI understand that you want to use the so put the cinematic lighting. I'm gonna put here, and I will put here the Decathlon lighting as well. I will explain the Decathlon light for you guys. Decathlon light. I think I will put only Decathlon. I will put Decathlon light. It's better. Now this Decathlon. I don't think I need to put light. Normally I use only Decathlon. So let's do those three lights here and explain out what's gonna be happening here. Um, I will cover the lights for the nighttime after this one. I'm just going on different levels of complexity here, and I will give some different light effects in the end. So now, speaking about light, by the way, most of the time when you use when you don't say what kind of light, most of light that MidJourney will be giving you, if you don't specify the environment a model is one of the internal light. Although here this seems very natural lighting, and this one is as well seems very natural lighting. So let's go back here. Let's see. So now we have here the studio light. Um, and now when we go to studio, we're gonna see that one of the things that a studio light makes is pretty much what shows in this model here. And by the way, very clear on this one here is we're gonna have more than one light participating, but one accentuating something. So we're never gonna have a total dark area, and they will always be a little yellowish. Always gonna be yellow. I can put different seeds here. Gonna see maybe a lot of. We're never gonna have the light a white one on this, and this is the studio light. Studio light is pretty much to make the model look a little more better, a little more vivid. So that's the studio light. I rarely use studio lighting, but many people like it. But studio light for me is a light that pretty much kills a lot of traces. You see, it's becoming very blank. The model is too much light in the face, and I don't. I personally don't like much. But many people use, and many people use together with volumetric, by the way, which helps. Which by the way fix the problem that Studio Light makes from on my humble opinion. But you don't need it to put the Studio Light for you. You're gonna lose volumetric lighting. But I will explain that in the end. But this is the Studio Light. So you see that's very silent studio. This is our artificial light in the face of the model. Artificial lights sometimes in the face of the model. And one important part I don't think I can show here, but is the eyes. Normally the studio light is going to give one dot of light in the eyes of the model as well, and this is sometimes this is very strong if not using illuminated eyes or any command to illuminate the eyes. So it will give always this dot of light that there is a light in my face here happening. Mm, let's go open the next one here, which I like more, which is the cinematic light. By the way, I like much more the cinematic light. So cinematic light is pretty much it's more like a theater that you have those light mostly in the top illuminating the scene around you. There you get a reflect of that light. So if you see here, it's like have a light on the left side of the model happening here, have a light happening here, while light happening in the front. So there are different spot of lights happening in that stage, and I'm getting the reflex of this, and some of them can hit on me. So cinematic lighting, I think very interesting. It creates all sorts of effects sometimes. Sometimes you have a yellow one coming here, a white one coming here. They're gonna be varying light and white. It gives very nice effects. So I do like cinematic lighting a lot, especially if I'm putting a scene that the model is in a bar or is in a pub or is in the city, is walking. So somewhere we have a lot of lights, a lot of different lights participating. So cinematic lights is one of the best to use. Of course, that if I wanted to say to make a picture that telling that this model is inside a studio, that's not the light because that's different lights participating, different types of light participating. So which you need to be very very good on, this, on understand what kind of light we should be using. But that's a studio, that's a cinematic light. A lot of people use cinematic light. It's cool. Cinematic light gives different lights participating on subject, and that's sometimes when we use this type of light, you don't need to be putting, for example, cinematic light, front light, backlight. Maybe you can use because it will give you more accentuation on the on thing. But you don't need to use too many lights when you use cinematic light. Probably cinematic light will be enough for your composition, and that's already a good point. The last one we're gonna see here, and I put the Decatron here because for me Decatron is a better version of the Studio Light. Let me open here. Decatron didn't load it. Oh, let's cancel here. Sometimes that happens. Oh, it's loading now. So for me, the Decathlon light is that light. Google, it's hard to explain. But Decathlon light is a very interesting light as well. It's a very soft light. Normally, Decathlon light is a light that will not change much the color of the skin of the model. It will be a very good for a natural lighting inside a studio, which I think it's a very interesting light. And for me, it's amazing that MidJourney have the Decathlon light. So let me open here to show you guys how soft is this light. It's a very soft light. Oops, I put the open. So that's the Decathlon light. So as you see, it's a very soft light. Look, this model here shows exactly what is a Decathlon light. It's not changing the color of the skins. You see, we have four different colors of skin here. So that's the Decathlon light. And I like the effect it does. It gives a very natural effect on the hair sometimes. It is an interesting light to use. If you didn't know Decathlon, it is something that you should try sometimes. It is interesting. I like the Decathlon light as well to be using. It's one spot of light, so it's not like cinematic that we have different directions. It's one spot of big light, and it's very interesting as well to test, especially if you're doing model. You want to do one model doing something, so Decathlon light is something that can really enrich a lot of the textures and things like that. Um, Okay, let's move on now to another type of light, which is the light that normally you're going to be using if it's a darker environment or if it's a more dramatic light, for example. So let's get into the next group of lights that we can be using. And I will be bringing here three lights. Dramatic light, which is very much used when people want to make something more darker, which is the more common one. Then we have night light, and then we have eerie light. And I will show here those three. So hold on. First, let's clean up here again. Those three. Okay, let's go back to the natural ones, and let's go here and do our tag again. Imagine. Let's copy here, and let's go here now and put the first one we're gonna put here is dramatic light, dramatic, dramatic light, dramatic lighting. I will put dramatic lighting just to keep the what I have dramatic lighting. We're gonna put the eerie light. I will put. I never use eerie lighting, so I will put eerie light. Eerie light. I'm helping a friend mine in a card game illustrations for one card game he's creating, and they have a lot of eerie lights. So it's pretty much a card game about horror, and there's a lot of eerie lights and night lights that we are using. So let's put here the night lights together. Okay, those are the three types of light that it will keep giving light to the picture, of course, that will not disappear, but it will be a little more somber lights, a little more darker environments, accurate environments. And remember as well, by the way, maybe when in the future when I do another one about light, I will be talking more about this. Maybe I should have put an environment around this here because light has a big play on the environment around the model. So maybe I will do one day about lighting for environment, which might be changing a little bit how some lights We'll change a lot some of those lights, by the way. Even bring a not maybe if worth to bring new types of light on the picture, like light speed and other lights. But I let's see here now all those pictures. So first one we have here is a dramatic light, and dramatic light is very much used at some right now in MidJourney as well. It's pretty much a light that I'm in a dark place. I'm in a dark room, and I have one spot of light bringing some light to the environment, and it's a little bit volumetric, so it is like a light which you have when you have just one dark environment happening on one side. I have one dark environment here happening, but I have one spot of light. That's not normal. That's MidJourney putting more light in the picture here. Normally, what you're gonna have is a lot of this. A very dark one area, you see the environment is dark, and I have one light here. Dramatic light will be very good to show in the environment exactly what's happening. It pretty much will get the environment very dark on one side, and we have one light happening on the model happening here. So that's what will be here. That is probably a light here. There's a light here as well, but probably the one part of the environment gonna be very dark, and that's the dramatic light. There's a drama happening, and there's one light here on the subject. So this is dramatic light. Interesting light to use, and it is something that is very common right now. I see many prompts using dramatic light. The next one that we have here is uh, um, a little darker than this one, and it is the eerie light. And the eerie light will it's pretty much like the dramatic light. It's very similar to dramatic light, but it will give less color to the picture. Although MidJourney here is doing a help with us for the portrait of models, but if you use some teams that especially use monsters or at night in the night city in the city, you're gonna see that the eerie light will do a lot of this here. We put a lot of dark elements and darker shadows in the back, and you can see here happening very we're gonna put the eyes very dark. See, all of them have the dark eyes, very dark, and the eyes, this is the eerie light. And I will put all the contrast in the model will be very strong, as you can see all of them. Although MidJourney put a backlight on this model again, put here a side light here, we're gonna see that eerie light is another type of dramatic light, little more somber than the dramatic light, which is very interesting. And the last one that we're gonna see here for a dark scene that I normally see around and we can use is a nightlife. In nightlife here happens something interesting. It's a night, and let's say again, the back of the model very dark is at night, so it is dark as dark. That's why all those lights about the night. I was saying at the beginning it would be easy to explain more in an environment than just in the model, because that's where they play a bigger role is the environment, the night, those lights. So here you can see all the models are with a dark outside, a darker then, and some things illuminating them. So this one here even show a candlelight. So there's a candlelight. There's some light coming from maybe a car behind her here. See here, there's a cave exit that she's looking at, or something like this. This is as well has a lantern or something here illuminating her. So something is illuminating this model that is in the night. So that's the night light. So that's a good point things to point out as well. When you were using the night lights like for the dark, we are talking about environment all the time here. That's why I had a lot of examples for sunlight, sunbeam, sunshine ray, because those are light that are playing with the environment. Okay. Um, there are some things we could do as well about light. There are some kinds of light which are very specific that you can work, but I will call that light effects. And just to show you guys as well, there are, for example, if you want a good example here. Okay, this is a good example. So for example, there are some lights which will be very interesting to use depending on the kind of scene that you're creating, like neon lights. But let me show, for example, not neon. I got even better. Let's put, for example, speed light. Speed light's a good one to give an example. Speed speed light, yes. For example, let's put here speed light, and I will use here no, speed light. No, it's light speed. I'm sorry. Light speed. Close this. Not speed lights. Light speed. light speed. Let me put here, for example, I will put candlelight. I will put torchlight because torchlight. And I'm gonna put here. See another one. Okay, I will do here one thing called to explain as well that you can play with the colors as well to give the bright face. Just to conclude now, I'm gonna give here three examples of light things that you can do that it's not exactly those types of lights. So what I did here today was pretty much I was trying to give you guys the best example possible for first control the direction of the light, front light, back light, side light. I gave here five types of light that you can be using for some outdoor composition, the illustration that I tried to create. So it was natural light, golden hour light, sunlight, sunbeam light, sunray light, that sunshine ray, I'm sorry. Inside, studio lighting, cinematic light, Decatron. Oh, by the way, I didn't speak about the one that which can always go to any composition. It's called volumetric light. I'll put here just to give example volumetric. It's not necessary, but MidJourney seems to use very well volumetric light. So let me show here now. So, okay, first one that I put here is the light speed. So when you're gonna use this one here. So as I said, some lights will give effect to your composition. Normally here is an action scene, is a running scene, is a moving scene, is a car chase, is something happening, and you wanna put a light on this. Light speed can work very well, especially if I use dynamic pose for your model, thing like this. So it will pretty much show is that movement where the camera is moving and the light is in movement. So it's the light in speed. So that's the light speed effect. Sometimes it will do a shining effect like an accent light here, but I think those two in the bottom show exactly what is light speed. So light speed is something cool to use sometimes depending on the composition you're doing. The other one that I put here is the torchlight. So as I said, torchlight and candlelight will be very similar. They're gonna give a light coming from a fire source. So and normally they will add this element to the picture. Sometimes because it's a model that they're putting there holding a candle, but if it was a room, you're gonna put some torches in the room, or torch close to the model, depending on the size of the picture that we are working on. So, so when you use, as I said, if you use also as well lantern light, many kinds of light that we could be using. I think I have here a lot of notes here with a lot of lights. So, for example, yeah, if you are using lights like so here, let's see, light of the element, arc lamp, candle light, Christmas lights. Christmas light gives a lot of lights on the big, especially this is a good one to think about now. Electric arc, neon lamp, oil lamp, Tesla coil, torch light's the one I use, channel lamp. All those lamps that we put, we're gonna add elements. Sometimes they don't add, which is very cool when they don't, because you get the light of that source. So if you put Christmas light and you get some colorful light coming, not the Christmas light itself, maybe it's good. Maybe you can cut the lights out if you don't want the light, just the effects. Yeah, but it's something that there's a lot of lights that will come with elements. Another thing we can do as well, I want to show here, is not exactly use lights. Sometimes you can just say bright face, and that's contextual for the AI, and you just get your face and put your face very light. So this is a good example as well. I just put here bright face. You can put bright eyes sometimes. You can put bright any part of the body, by the way. And MidJourney sometimes helps you on this if you put some light on there. So bright face, the same thing as saying that I want more light in the face. So bright face, bright eye, bright mouth. I never use, don't know the result. So bright face can also work for you. And as I said here, I put the volumetric lighting. So volumetric lighting is not any specific light. Volumetric lighting, what it does, just accentuate the shadows in the picture. Yeah, it gives more volume because it accentuates the shadows. I would say the volumetric is more related with shadows than it is related with light, and that's why I was not even mentioned. But I normally use volumetric lighting because it will help us to play with the shadows. So as you see here, that there's a big contrast between light and shadow. So volumetric light is something that I mostly suggest. So if I was going to make a composition, I probably would put something like, let's see here, let's play a little bit here. Just to wrap out, let's put here imagine. Let's get here. Women wearing. Uh, I would give example now of using those lights together. Oh, I put volumetric, but I think they understand. He understand. But by the way, typos. It's not a problem with MidJourney, okay? MidJourney corrects a lot of typos and understand what they're trying to say. So let's put here natural. Let's put here a composition in natural light because I think it's a good light. I will try to make something very interesting. I will put a natural light with volumetric light with volumetric lighting, a natural light with volumetric lighting, and front light, just to to see what's going on in here. Okay, let's put that. So that's a good composition. I'm saying, and look how interesting what I'm doing here. I'm saying what is the light that is the environment that I'm in? It's a natural light. I'm saying that I want a volumetric lighting because I want to very big contrast between the lights, and I'm saying that one of the main source of lights in front of me. So that's thinking, and that's what I like. Sometimes people think that oh, with MidJourney you're gonna become an artist, and I think we are not exactly becoming artists. We become art directors because I'm pretty much saying for I feel sometimes that I'm directing light. I'm being an art director. I'm saying I want the light in the front, in the front. I don't want the light in the back. I could put backlight, but I would front light. So let's put this one here. And by the way, let's do another one here, adding some elements that we learned from other videos. Let's put Full HD. Let's put here HDR, DTM, control tonalities. Let's put 8K. Let's get here. What else we can put here? Insane details, intricate, intricate details. Let's put also a big one here using a little bit about quality to see what kind of results we are having with this lady wearing a brown jacket. So let's see here now to wrap up the using natural, volumetric, and front light. So here we have the result of the women wearing a brown jacket facing the camera. And here we go. We do have a very sunny light that would say that there's a natural light coming from hitting her. I have on all of them a light in the front of them happening. Especially this model here, we can see perfectly. A front light happen on them, and it's being very volumetric. Volumetric. I could pretty much see all of the shadows of the face, of the eyes, and it's being a good volumetric light, and it's a natural light. It's not artificial light for sure. It's not artificial light as you can see here, and it is in the direction that I wanted. Um, and this is pretty much wrap us controlling exactly the direction, the type of light, and a little bit about the shells about the light. So to conclude here, one using now more quality and giving more aspects, so giving now more effects of quality. And guys, thank you so much. This was video number 4. As I say, I'm starting this channel. I never did a channel before, so I noticed that it's important for me to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel. If you guys like what I'm doing here, if you believe on what I'm doing here, if you like what I'm doing here, if it is helping you in any way, please hit the button of subscribe, hit the like button. It's gonna help me a lot as well to get more people watching me, and this is will becoming better for everyone. Please come join my channel in the Discord. I'm putting on all the videos the Discord link, and see you guys soon. I'm planning to the next video. I'm planning to do about rendering. Let's talk a little bit about this Octane render, the Unreal Engine, what is all those render crazy things that are happening, and how this plays with everything else. Okay. See you guys next video. See you. Hope you guys enjoy. If you guys didn't see the videos I did before, please go check my other videos because I think you guys probably gonna learn something in the middle of it. Bye bye.